I never know how to start these.
Yeah, me neither.
I really never know how to start these. Hi guys. Welcome to another episode of Unwind and Glenn with
Unwind and Glenn.
Oh wait, did I just say Unwind and Glenn?
So welcome back to Unwind and Glenn.
Did I already start drinking? I can't remember. Oh man. Welcome to Unwind with June and Glenn.
There we go.
There we go. Whew. It's gonna be a rough episode.
It is.
We have a lot to talk about.
We do.
I don't know if you noticed, but I switched up my setting. I don't know. Sorry if my chair's squeaky. I'm gonna try not to move.
You switched up your setting?
Yeah, I'm staying at my desk this time. I'm usually on the couch to give it a bit more of a cozy vibe, but today I didn't feel like moving stuff around, and I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. So here we are on the desk. I hope it looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks okay. Yeah. Okay. So we did shoot an episode the other week, but that got scrapped for many reasons. Actually,
way too many.
For many reasons we probably can't disclose. It got too rated R. I don't know. It got too risque.
It got like rated XXX. Honestly, like.
It was a little too much.
A little too much.
We were a little too overzealous and risque, I guess.
Mm-hmm. We got families and shit, you know. We got
family,
and shit,
you know. Yeah. We got young eyes tuning in too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this episode we're gonna be talking about ruts.
Going through a fucking rut, man. Goddamn.
Even the word, whoever came up with the word, got it right.
It's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Rut. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and the reason for this episode is because Glenn, I was talking to Glenn the other night, and he was sharing that he was going through like a rut. He was going through something, and this is unlike Glenn, mind you.
Yeah. So it was actually last. You know what? Should we pour the wine first?
Oh, we always do this.
Pour the wine first.
It's literally in the title, and
that's
we
what
never
I'm saying. Unwind. We say unwind, and we don't even fucking live up to the fucking.
We don't even unwind. So Glenn, what do you have today?
I actually have Chardonnay today. I got
Chardonnay.
What
is that? What is?
I got some white wine today. White wine.
What's
it's
that brand
called I think it's called Mayomi.
Spell it out
real quick. MEIOMI.
MEIOMI.
Mm-hmm. It is a vintage 2018.
Vintage 2018. Remember when you were like, is it allowed to be vintage if it's 2018? Remember that other episode? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just reading the bottle. Yeah. I went to the grocery store on the way back home, and I just got a simple. It's called what? Noble Vines, but it's a Merlot. It's more on the sweeter side. I wanted something sweet today.
You know what? I'm actually not a fan of like white wine because it is a little bit too sweet for me. Like I like my alcohol to taste like alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's not entirely true. In terms of like white necessarily being sweeter.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I've tried like some dry white wine. One thing I do like about white wine is let's get this ASMR pour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. One thing I do like about white wine is it doesn't stain your teeth.
It doesn't stain your teeth, but white wine always gives me a headache. If I drink too much of like champagne or Chardonnay or whatever, like I always get a headache.
All right, cheers.
After. Cheers.
I had a hefty meal right before this.
Did you? What'd you eat?
I had this place called Sun Tofu, that's Sundubu.
Okay.
Apparently it's like an OG spot in LA, and they're closing permanently in a couple days. So I wanted to try it before they did it, and it was pretty good. I got the kalbi combo. It was pretty solid.
Because of the pandemic, or
I guess so. I guess they're like going out of business.
Damn.
But apparently it's like an OG spot.
Damn, that's fucking tragic, man.
It is tragic. Like all the businesses that got affected. That's quite sad, really.
Very sad.
Yeah. But oh goodness.
But yeah, back on just to get back on track.
Yes, how have you been? What's up?
You know what? I feel like for the past like maybe like week and a half, like I've just been really just like something was off, you know what I mean? And then yesterday that's when I started like spiral a little bit. And that's when I got to talking to you, over Instagram or whatever. And I realized like last night, like I realized that like I'm going through a rut. Like I feel very very like not myself, like my creativity is kind of off. Like nothing's really exciting me, or like nothing in my life is very exciting to me at the moment. Like I like fucking hate my work right now, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm not doing enough, and like, it's just like I had one of those like existential moments where I was like, man, like I'm fucking about to be 28 in less than a month, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I haven't accomplished shit, you know what I mean? Like I barely have 5 figures in my fucking bank account, you know what I'm saying? Like and half of that money came from fucking unemployment, like PUA shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like and also, you already know this, but like, my mom ran into some health problems this year.
Right.
And like, I was like thinking about that. I was like, man, like if we didn't have insurance, like what would have happened? You know what I mean? Like if we didn't have certain things, like would I have been able to, like would we have been able to make it out? And like all these thoughts were just like going crazy in my mind. And
you were spiraling.
I was, man. And like
you were spiraling.
I was. And usually I'm not one to spiral, but when I do, I spiral pretty hard. Like I go through it. Like last night, so me and June, like we talked for like 20-30 minutes, like over Instagram. Maybe a little longer. And I told him I was going to sleep, and I ended up staying up like another 2-3 hours. And I was just like in my bed, like in like and when I spiral, like I get like real dramatic with it too, like
of course.
So like I was like in like my fucking room, like lights off, like I was like staring at the fucking dark ass ceiling, like listening to like the fucking Interstellar soundtrack, and like I was
wait, I thought you were gonna say some sad song, but this man put on the Interstellar soundtrack,
some real
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer, some fucking symphony shit, man. Like some fucking epic shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I was just laying there, and like I just could not go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And today I feel a lot better, obviously. But yeah, man, yesterday, man, that shit was rough, man. I was in a very dark place. Not
to capitalize on your rut or anything like that, but I love talking about stuff like this.
Me too. You know what?
I love it.
You know what I realized? I realized yesterday that I don't have too many people that I can just go to and talk about this with.
And that's dangerous.
You know what I mean?
Scary.
It is like, so like, listen, like I love my homies, right? Yeah. Like they're the bros, right? But I feel like our group dynamic is so bro-y that for me, it's very hard for me to like reach out and be like, yo, like I'm kind of like going through some shit. You know what I mean? And like, I know that if I did, like they'd be very receptive. But it's just like that first,
still, I get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Weird. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
One thing I do pride myself on is like I initiate that with my friends.
You do.
Even with you.
You do.
I set the tone by just me first being vulnerable, especially with my guy friends, right? Because I'm a very observant person, and in the midst of like joking about women and how like their relationships, they can talk to each other about anything. They can just hit each other up and just get into it, right?
Yeah.
In the midst of all that joking, there's like a truth behind it where it's like there's something I admire and I'm so envious of with like a lot of female to female relationships, like girlfriends. Like they can just really just talk about anything, Yeah. And I don't know why, I don't know since when, I don't know who did this whole weird, masculinity, I can't talk. My goodness. This thing where it's like guys can't talk about their feelings. Guys can't unwind with each other. And I don't like that. Like we go through tough stuff. We go through the same emotions.
Bro, men go through some shit, man.
Like we go through the same things. Like why are we not talking about it?
Yeah.
And so I like to actually encourage that with my friends by just me first being like, hey, I'm going through something. I'm like, it's been tough. And it's also because I'm more of the one that's like going through stuff like this. I usually talk about this kind of stuff to Glenn more so than he does with me. So like even him sharing was different. And
yeah, it's I think for me, like with my boys, like we definitely talk about this stuff. But like it has to be like a certain like situation. Like it has to be like when we're when we're drinking, or like you know, like if we're high, or like you know what I mean, like, or like
right.
if we're like all together in a room like at the same time. Like it's never been the case where like one of my boys like hits me up like through like Facebook chat or like, you know, Instagram or whatever, be like, yo, like I'm going through some shit. You know what I mean? Like it's never been that case for me. You know what I'm saying? So like it was actually very weird, or not weird, but it was a very new experience for me to even bring it up with you. Like through Instagram. You brought it up out of the blue, kind of. I did.
You just said it. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, well, we're about to get into this. Like,
yeah. So
I didn't know.
Yeah. But yeah.
No, but I think we had some good conversations.
We did. It actually really helped for me to just get it out. You know, like what I was like thinking about.
Are you an internal processor or an external processor? Internal processor meaning what? You have to like really introspect, like chew on it, and like just really like go through it. I don't know the exact definition, but external processing especially is like when you have to like talk about it, right? When you have to like verbalize and vocalize it. I think I'm a little bit of both.
I think I am too, but I tend to do more internal processing. Yeah. You know,
as most people do.
Yeah.
Because I think there is this fear or discomfort of like sharing your thoughts, insecurities, or just like emotions. So yeah, there is that. But I mean, one thing I love about processing externally to close friends is that by sharing some of these thoughts, like I can get like an objective, clear-headed viewpoint, opinion, and it helps me like get out of my headspace. It helps me take me out of like this kind of like a weird, it feels like a trap, you know? And so yeah, I think that's important to talk to people that are not in that same position as you, so that they can have a more level-headed point of view.
Right. And also I feel like the reason why I have such a hard time bringing it up to my friends is because like none of my friends do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like none of them are really in the creative field, and none of them none of them are freelancing. And I feel like that's why yesterday I was just able to like just like lay it out there, and like you kind of like got like what I was talking about, right? You kind of understood like, cuz okay, so basically the reason why I feel like I'm in a rut is because I feel like my work just isn't where I want it to be. You know what I mean, creatively. And I feel like I can't talk to, you know, a lot of my friends about that because, like, yeah, like, they can give me advice, but, like, I just know, like, they don't really know, like, the full extent of, like, what I'm really going through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they can't really talk your language, you know?
Yeah. And, like, it's no fault to them, obviously, you know? But, yeah, I mean, that's just, it is what it is, you know? It's just one of those things that, like, I don't want to feel like a burden, or like I don't want to feel like misunderstood, or like I'm complaining about certain things, because like this is a life that I chose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I asked for this. You know what I'm saying? Nobody forced me to do this shit. You know what I mean? And nobody's forcing me to be in this shit still. You know what I mean? Like it's my choice. So yeah, it's like that's kind of a big part of it too, as to why I don't external process as much.
I found that, especially like being in a creative rut, it's so hard to like talk about that without sounding abstract or without sounding so superficial.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I'm having trouble thinking of cool ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to express being in a creative rut without feeling like, I don't know, like silly, or like it's just like it just feels like it's like,
if
like, dude, there's much bigger
exactly
problems
like if it feels like it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean?
but it's so important. Like creative ruts is it's devastating. It's like everything. It's part of our it's like part of our career. It's part of our like livelihood, and
it is.
It's what keeps you going, especially in both of our fields. You know, it's like if you're zapped creatively, like that's pretty scary. You
It
know?
fucking sucks, dude. Yeah, exactly what you said. Like it's actually a very scary place to be, because it's like, oh shit, like what's next? Like what do I do? Like how do I get out of this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like it feels like there's no fucking end to this fucking like the thought process. You know what I mean?
Dude, do you ever get in that thought where my biggest fear is that the last video I uploaded is the best video I'll ever upload. Like that one picture you took, you'll never be able to top it.
So my fear is like I will never get to that level where I feel like I've arrived. You know what I mean? Like that's my fear. Like, cause right now, like I'm at a stage where, like I'm still at a stage in my art where I'm still imitating other people's work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like my fear is like, okay, like maybe like I'm just not creative enough. Like maybe I'm not creative enough to find my own style, right?
Yeah.
To have people say like, oh, like this is something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Like that's my goal. Like at the end of the day, like whether it's video, filmmaking, or like photography, I want to create some shit where like no one's fucking seen this shit before in this way. You know what I mean? And like my fear is like all this time that I'm working and all this time that I will work will end up being like I'll never find that like whatever I'm like looking for creatively, like I'll never find it, and then I'll give up, and then I'll fucking go into a fucking 9-to-5 job, you know what I'm saying, and fucking end up like 20 years at a fucking desk type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Like your fear is that the entire bane of your existence is going to be just you're scared that you're going to be a poor man's version of someone else. Right? Like you'll never be Glenn Kwan. You'll just be some like knockoff cardboard version of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I'll just be that guy that fucking uploads pictures on Instagram for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And not make any, real money, or not get into fucking magazines or fucking, like editorials. Like I won't be able to shoot, like what I want to shoot. Like that's my fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
man. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, man.
I know a lot of people can relate to you, actually. I think especially a lot of the audience listening to this, a lot of people do like to want to pursue something creative in the creative arts. And that's becoming more popular nowadays, and which I'm glad. And so I'm glad you talked about this, because I'm sure there's people either right now feeling like this or have felt like this and they just didn't know what to do. And just step one, just knowing that other people, that you're not alone, that you're not the only one that feels like this, or you're not the only one that's going through something like this, is like such a huge relief. And you gotta tell yourself that. You gotta remind yourself that there's not one emotion, there's not one problem in this world that a human being will go through, arguably, that you're the only person going through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm convinced that like whatever any human being is going through, right? They can't feel like they're the only one. They can't feel alone. You know what I mean? But I mean, back to your whole like copying stage. I think it's all about the perspective. I think that's perfectly fine where you are at. I was there too, and I felt trapped and I don't know what to do, but I just like kind of trust that you really got to trust the process, right? And one of the biggest turning points and lessons I learned was recently, actually, was like everyone's trying to find their own voice, everyone's trying to find their own brand, but it's really not as complicated as or as people make it out to be. Your brand is you, like what makes you, right? And you got to start there, because like what makes me different, or like in every single thing about me is translated through the way I do my content.
Right.
My mannerism, the way
Right.
I talk,
Right.
my voice, my tone, my accent, the way I move, my body language, like my topics that I talk about, every tiny little micro details is translated through my content, and I don't think about that because I'm just doing me. But that's what makes my brand like
Yours.
me. Like
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
makes Junley Comedy like
Yeah.
Junley Comedy.
Yeah.
And these are there's so many things that you don't even think about that's like going into that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that was like a huge turning point for me. Just
Okay.
like, oh, like this is my brand, like me. And just getting more comfortable in your skin and just like expressing yourself
Right.
the way you normally do to your
Mhm.
friends, to your families. And just kind of tapping into your interest points. Like you seem to have this like divide that when we were talking, you're struggling between, you love this like comedic side.
I do.
Right?
I do.
You love all the jokes, you love like messing around, all the goofiness, but then you also have this like serious side of
I do.
like photography, video. Like you want to produce and shoot some like really like edgy kind of like mysterious like all these types of shots, but
Yeah.
I felt like you were compartmentalizing it so much. But my thing was just like, why do you have to separate that? Why can't you just make that part of your brand? And that's what makes you so unique. Yeah, like you feel like you have to do one or the other, but why not both? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know like where I'm headed. You know what I mean? Like where am I going? Like what the fuck am I doing right now? You know what I mean? Like I'm about to turn 28. Like I feel like I haven't done shit. You know what I mean? Like
so let's even backtrack because I think we need to feel a little bit more validated and liberated because we're in a pandemic.
We are.
And nowadays it seems almost as if we're starting to just toss that around as a means of justification to do nothing and just be lazy.
exactly.
And that's I don't like that too. I personally don't like to make excuses for myself, and I have my own little oh my gosh, complex. What's that? The workers. Oh, dude, I'm blanking.
The workers.
Anyway,
the workers.
Never mind. Nothing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Jesus. So I have my own little imposter syndrome, so I don't like to make excuses. But in all honesty, the fact that we're in this pandemic and like we're out of jobs, like work is very slow. I'm barely getting any auditions right when I got a commercial agent. I was so happy. I signed with like a huge agency, and then the pandemic hit, and I'm getting like nothing, no auditions, stuff like that. Anyways, but I think we need to just be a little bit more forgiving with ourselves. And one great thing that came out of this pandemic, whether people ask for it or not, was the fact that, like you said, so much is being brought to light, and
it is.
where so many distractions have been cut out. And so we're like in this weird, awkward place as humans where we're forced to just spend time with ourselves. We're forced to just be in a room with ourselves in the house alone, because it was so easy. When the second we start feeling something, the second we start feeling down, or I think we're just so bad at coping with our emotions that our natural defense mechanism is to hit up our friends, to go out to drink, to go party. Let's do whatever I can the second I start feeling some type of way, to distract myself instead of actually dealing with it. So it just perpetuates our feelings, and it just gets deeper and deeper, more deeply rooted, and that's when it blows up later, and that's when we start to really spiral. And so a lot of us don't know how to deal with our emotions. And me included. We don't know how to deal with our emotional state. And that's one thing I've been tackling like head on. And we're going to do an episode about insecurities too, but I've been tackling my insecurities and bringing it to light and forcing myself to like stand face to face and chip away at it, and actually like make a conscious decision to grow. Not be stagnant, but grow and like mature as a man, as a person, as a boyfriend, you know what I mean? It's like I need a level up. I can't just be the same. And so it's terrifying. It's so scary. And I feel like there's no end. I feel like I'm hopeless, honestly. Sometimes when I get in a rut, I feel like it's hopeless.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that can be done. But I think this is all discipline. This is all practice of like learning how to just deal with things. You know what I mean? Without the easy way of just going out to drink, whatever, doing drugs, like whatever your vice is.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. I just want to say, I feel like you bring up a really great point. I feel like whenever I go through a rut, like I don't confront that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I tend to, like, whenever I'm going through a rut, like my way of dealing with it is just waiting for it to pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I don't really confront like why I'm going through it. And I think with this rut that I'm going through right now, I feel like my lack of discipline, my laziness, like my otherworldly ability to fucking procrastinate, right? Like I feel like all that is like kind of catching up to me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's why, like, yesterday I was just like going through some fucking crazy shit, because I was like, damn, like, cause I've had feelings like this before,
Yeah, of course.
But it was always just like, oh, like it is what it is. Like it's just a part of life. It's just a part of my job. It's just a part of, who I am as a person. And I don't really, think of ways to confront it. One, and two, I don't think of ways to better my life, or like change things in my life, or like my routine to, not like avoid going through another rut, but just like improving why I'm going through a rut. You feel me?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, so I will say this, like sometimes it's tricky because it's situational. Sometimes like I also don't want to develop this mentality that every time you go through a rut or something, you have to do something about it. Or like there has to be some physical, tangible change for me to avoid this or stop going through. Sometimes you just have to let it be and just literally like see yourself. This sounds like very woo-saw and all that, like spiritual and all, but sometimes literally you just gotta like see your body as just like a prism. And the emotions and thoughts like as like light, and just let it just go through, just let it pass through you. Like let it in. You're like, oh, it's I feel some kind of way, it's feeling, and just like, and then just let it, and just let it go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, a lot of the times like we just have to like just like let it just filter out whatever we're feeling and just be present. Don't try to like reject the emotions. Don't really necessarily try to reject these thoughts, but just like just let it happen. But instead of fighting it so much, and in a way that can actually help us deal with it a little bit better by at least we don't even like to acknowledge it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think, but I think on the flip side of that, I think that's what I've been doing every time. Right. And like I don't really confront it like at all. Yeah. Like I'm just like, okay, just fucking light go through me. Fuck it, like just go, whatever. I just fucking sit there, and then until it's all done, and then I don't fix the habits that I know I should fix. You know what I mean? I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
I just kind of let it be, and like
a lot of this like perpetuating sadness and self-pity. The dangerous part of that is a lot of us do not acknowledge the self-pity portion of it, and we just love it becomes habitual, which is scary. We love the act of getting sad and feeling sorry for ourselves, but we don't actually like the discipline of taking action to do something about it, or try not to like get in that state, right? Because when anything requires action, it's like it requires effort. Like we don't like it's whether it's mental effort or emotional effort, it's too much work. People don't actually want to put in the work.
It is a lot of work.
And so that's the challenge. Like that's what I wanted to push you and myself and others too, is like when you're feeling like this, there are times to just like let it be, but there are times where it's like, okay, like what can I do about this? Like, I'm not gonna let this define me as a person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like let this struggle or weakness get the best of me. Like, what can I do? Like, I want to get better at handling it. You know, I may not completely overcome it, but I just want to get better at dealing with it, and I want to do something about it. What do you do when you feel like you're in a rut? Are there like ways you cope in terms of like trying to get out of it? What are some of your practices?
I either let it pass or I need a really good cry. Like I just need to cry it out. And sometimes like I'll just watch some shit, like a movie that I know just based off the trailer,
dude,
like that shit will just make me fucking cry. You know what I'm saying?
I can give you a plethora of movies. I can too. I have like a whole list. Yeah. I have a whole list of like that'll make you cry. If you just need to cry, and a lot of them are Korean movies. Korean
cinema.
They know
they know how to portray pain, and they know how to portray sadness. Like that Korean cinema is on top when it comes to that.
I just want to say on the record, I've been advocating Korean cinematography for the past...
It's amazing.
For the past 10 to 15 years.
It's amazing, dude.
Korean
cinema's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I was that kid in high school to all my non-Korean friends, like trying to introduce them to Korean cinema. Trying to introduce them to Korean films. In college, I was showing all my non-Koreans and Korean friends, Korean American friends that never watch Korean films. I'm like, you got to give it a chance. Like, it's so raw. It's so raw. Real. It's so good. So and they know how to just tug at your heartstring.
Yeah.
And it's so just, oh my gosh. And then, when Parasite came around and all that, and finally Korean cinema got a little bit more attention, I was like, dude, like, you have no idea how proud I was, like, personally too. I was like, I've been personally just doing this with my small circle for the past 10 years. For the past 10 years. And then now we won an Oscar. Like, you know? But
you know what, man? You know what, man? Like that movie, it really made me realize how important, like, seeing yourself on screen, like how much it really helps. Like I honestly didn't realize that until I saw Parasite win a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was when I was okay. Like, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense why, you know, like, people fight for, you know, representation. You know, dude, like in movies and TV shows, like
if you think about it, media arguably has the biggest impact on culture.
Oh, for sure, on
you know what I mean?
Society and like culture,
above all things. And as kids growing up, you consume media more than anything else, especially whenever media was invented.
For sure.
But I think a lot of my like lack of confidence, besides my personal things, is like, I literally never saw anyone like me, you know. And whenever I did, we were a complete joke. Like, it was
like the fucking ditzy whitewashed Asian or some shit.
Like, we were like the, you know, we were the ones that just like are laughed at, and like literally the way that we were portrayed for so long. Even now, it's like the nerd, we never get the hot girl. We're never the main character.
We're always the fucking comedic relief. Always.
We're always the butt end of the joke. You know, we're never taken seriously. So that really affected my self-confidence and like my self-esteem.
Yeah.
And so yes, like, media representation is so important, and I think like Asians are up next, and I think it's so important, and that's part of, especially like the content I do. I just like I want to like just help bring us to light in any way that I can too.
We're coming for sure.
Yeah,
Asians are coming for sure. Like,
for sure. Like,
well, I mean, we fucking won an Oscar. Like, it was a Korean director. You know what I'm saying? Full Korean cast. Speaking full Korean.
Ironic,
you know
but you know what's also ironic and a little sad and interesting?
Yeah.
We didn't win one Oscar. We won what, like total, like all the Oscars, four or five Oscars. We we didn't win one Oscar for best acting, for best performance.
Oh, did we not?
You know, that it's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? It's like
Interesting.
I
What
mean,
did
like,
we win? I like.
I'm
I
not
like
trying to
forgot
pick
what
it.
we win.
Best picture, best.
Best picture.
Oh, shoot,
I think Bong Joon-ho won best directing, right?
Yeah, something like that. I'm embarrassed. I should know this as an actor. Don't put me on the spot, man. Don't expose me. I'm gonna look this up right now because I should. I really should know this. Best picture, best director, best original screenplay, best production design, best film editing, and international feature film. So very impressive feats, but at the same time, it's still like none of it was for like best acting. I forgot her name. The daughter. Oh my gosh, she was spectacular. Her performance was spectacular.
They were all so good.
All of them. It was so good.
I could talk about this shit for hours, dude. Holy shit.
But anyways, we need to go back to being in a rut.
Back to the top.
Back to the top. But that's something I do like to do. I like to watch movies. I like to watch.
Okay,
films.
let me ask you a little fun question. What's your what's like the movie that made you cry the fucking most, like, of all time, like? Or like a movie that like made you bawl.
So a classic one that's like good and like a really good mixture of fun, funny, and sad is Miracle in Cell Number 7.
I knew
that
was gonna come up.
That had an impact on my that had a big impact on me because I remember when it came out. I believe it was like 2013. Yeah, I believe it was like 2013. I think I remember the exact year, something along those lines, right? And I have this funny story. So, me and my roommate Jason at the time, we were watching in our dorm room, and we had this like other friend, and so it's just like us two, and it was her, and then we were like watching the movie on his laptop, and like we were watching the movie. It was really good. It was funny. Blah blah blah. And towards the end, and like I don't want to give spoilers, but it can get kind of sad or whatever. And so she was like sitting all the way in the front, and me and Jason were like in the back. We're just like chilling. And so she's bawling, right? Like bawling, and she's crying. She has tissues and stuff. And I'm in the back. I'm secretly just like tear, like it's welling up. It's like tears are flowing out of my eyes, right? And at one point, she gets so frustrated because I think she's the only one that heard herself crying. She, in the middle of the movie, she turns around and is like, "Why aren't you guys crying?" But she looks at me, and I'm just bawling silently. I'm silently crying my eyes out. And it was like towards the end of the movie, right? And then I was like, and she started laughing, but then I was like, you know what, Jason doesn't cry much, especially like in movies. He's not like emotional in that sense. And I was like, oh, I wonder what Jason's up to, right? I look at him, and he's sitting on his chair with like, you know when like you lean your chair back, like he has his feet on the desk, and I'm not kidding. This is what he did. He had his fist in his mouth. He had his fist in his mouth, and and the thing is, mind you, the room was dark, right? But then the laptop screen was reflecting on our faces.
Right.
This man's face looked like an anime screen where it's like the tears were glistening. Like tears were just streaming down his face. He was you could see his throat like convulsing like a frog. Yeah. Like holding and choking the tears. And this man was crying.
No, man, I actually hate watching movies like with my boys, especially if it's like a sad one, because I know that I'll cry. You know what I mean?
I'm a cry. I'm in movies.
I've actually never seen like my friends cry ever, like ever.
Oh, shoot.
Right? So like whenever like a sad movie comes on or like a sad scene comes on, like you know, like when you're like trying really hard not to cry, like you start like fidgeting. Like looking for like other things to look at, like trying to like distract yourself, like just to do anything outside of the movie, just so you don't fucking shed a tear, man.
There's a movie. Okay, I'm gonna try to find the American title, but I recently watched a movie last year with my old roommate Hanju. We were on the couch. We were like, "Oh, you want to watch a movie?" It's a movie called Dongpari. You have to watch it.
I've heard of that.
So I watched Dongpari.
Yeah.
Can you try looking it up if you can?
Dongpari was it like fucking like a literal translation would be.
Well, it's not the literal translation. Just look up like I don't know, fruit fly Korean movie. I don't know. Like so it's a gangster movie. I forgot the
Breathless.
And so the main character, I'm so bad with my names, but he he directed the movie, and he's the lead. This was his first film that he directed, and it crushed. It killed it. Anyways, that I cried pretty heavily in that one. Okay. Man, that was a good movie. That was, if you need a good cry, it's such a good movie.
Really.
But yeah, I remember apparently Hanju fell asleep, and then he woke up to my sniffles. I was like, I had my like knees up like on the couch. I was like sniffling to myself. He looked, and he said he saw me like trying not to cry, but like tears were just coming out.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. But yes, this is just a long-winded way of saying like sometimes you just need a good cry.
You need a good cry. You know what I mean? Hey, like, men need to cry, man. Like y'all, like guys, men just need to get it, like let it out. I'm actually like whenever people ask me if I cry a lot, like I always answer yes. Like I feel like I cry more than the average man. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and you know, like I'm actually pretty proud of that because I feel like it's a very healthy way to cope with things. You know what I'm saying? Like men, yo, cry it out, man.
Yo, and dude, the other week I was like, I remember like talking to you, I was like, my anxiety was like going crazy. I was spiraling like crazy. I was like overthinking. I was like getting lost in my thoughts, and I remember I was on the phone with my girlfriend, and
with your girlfriend. Okay, I just needed to point that out real quick.
Every time I say that, you give me this
look. Here's the thing though, because I know
you know
like,
everything. You know everything
from like front to now, right?
From beginning.
And so like
everything
from the beginning. So like whenever you mention something like on like a public platform, like I always get kind of taken aback. You know, like when you mention like girlfriend or like you know my girl on fucking Quarantine and Chill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's cute like, though. It's cute though.
This is very new to me. Like I haven't said that word. I haven't said that word in like 5 years almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a while, man.
It's almost four and a half years.
Yeah.
And especially like I'm like just now kind of like starting to trickle that into like social media.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just want to point that out real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember I was on the phone with her, and then she was like, "Hey, you good?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm good, right?" And then she had to go do something or whatever, and we hung up for a second, and I cried.
Really?
Something happened. I was like in my living room. I got off the phone with her, and that was the tipping point. And I just cried for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I don't even know how long. But
wait, so
I was just like,
I don't mean to pry, but why? Sure. But why exactly did you cry?
Because I was overwhelmed with emotions, with thoughts. Like I was so stuck in my head. I was spiraling so hard that I was like, oh my, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. I'm freaking myself out, and like, yeah, I'm having so many of these like stupid thoughts, silly thoughts, and it just got so bad. I was like, it literally just translated to tears. My body didn't know what to do, so it just like flowed out. How far are you on the wine, by the way?
I am I'm like pretty much, I have like maybe like 1.5 cups left. I'm a drinker, man. I fucking love to drink. It's a problem. I think it's a problem. Like straight up, like
you think you have a drinking problem?
I'm not like an alcoholic, but like it's like at a point where like I drink enough where I feel like it's kind of unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a detriment to my health at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Are you in this like weird like in the beginning phases of denial? Like
yeah.
Are you a functioning alcoholic?
Honestly, I might be. Like lately I've been having a beer like probably at least 4 or 5 times a week.
Well, do you get drunk?
I don't get drunk. I'll have one like when I'm like winding down like at the at the end of the day, but that's how it starts. Or so I've heard. You know what I'm saying? So
you quit the Juul, now you're onto the
now I'm onto fucking beer and fucking alcohol. But
Anyways, what were we talking about? We were,
But yeah, back on topic.
We were like getting into the thick of it in terms of so I like broke down.
Yeah, and like
I broke down.
I wanted to ask you, like, do you think that had to do with like a bit of like frustration in terms of like you didn't know how to express it, or like what do you think that came from?
It came from not like not knowing how to express it. It's more like I was so frustrated. I was more frustrated at myself for feeling like this. It's like
for thinking those thoughts, or
why do I have these like, why do I create these hypothetical situations? Why, like, my trust issues, my jealousy, my lack of confidence or whatever in me, in myself, and in my relationships, like, why, I'm not giving her enough credit, like this and that. I'm just like spiraling, and it got so bad where I just like broke down, and I was annoyed at myself. I was frustrated with myself. And I didn't want to be, this is not the kind of man I want to be for her. And so there was more, like, it was just like a vicious cycle. And the funny thing is she's like, hey, I'm free. Can I call you? Like, like, can I call you for a second? I was like, yeah. So I went to the bathroom. I was like rubbing my eyes. I was washing my face.
Put on fucking makeup and shit. Like,
I had to like paint my eyeballs white. My eyes were bloodshot red. It was so funny. I was literally in the thick of crying, and she's like, "Hey, you wanna talk on the phone for a second?" I was like, "Yeah. Let me. Okay, 1 second." And I was like, washing my face. I was like, you know what I mean? And then like we video chatted too for a second. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. But I ended up telling her later on. I was like, "Hey, by the way, I cried." Like,
no, you know what, man? Like, I will say, I am very. I mean, hopefully we get to bring her on. And I get to ask y'all questions one day, eventually, one day. Way down the road. But, yeah, man, like, I think,
well, like, in the sense, I would love to bring her on in the sense of like, she's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, like, she's great. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
She really is. And she, yeah, I swear this is still on topic, guys, but because she really helps me out of a rut, and your partner should be there for you if you're in a rut. You know what I mean? They shouldn't find you annoying. They shouldn't be like, oh, like I have to tolerate this or like to put up with this. It's like they should full-heartedly be there for you, no question. That's part of being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucking relationship 101. You know what I'm saying?
And I've never been with someone. Even a friend, right? I've never had a female companion / girlfriend where like I've been this open and just comfortable about sharing my insecurities, sharing my thoughts, my crazy thoughts without feeling judged. A lot of times I would bring something up, to be fair, sometimes to the fault of my own, where it feels like I'm attacking. Like I was just a little younger and more immature, but I'm much better at approaching things with her without making it feel like it's her fault, without making it feel like I'm attacking her. I try my best, but I just try to bring up these thoughts as thoughts. That's it. And she listens, and she encourages me, and she affirms me, and is like, hey, like I know this is like a sensitive like topic, or like this is like a struggle point for this is a struggle point for you. So like I will make sure to be more mindful of that. I'll like put a lot of emphasis on that. I'll be careful too. Like I will make sure that you don't have anything to worry about, blah 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 blah. But like talking to her, like she talks me through this and makes me feel silly in the best way possible for feeling these like crazy thoughts. Like, dude, like she's like I see you, and like you are dope. Like you're hot, you're funny, you're sexy.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of these things that I don't see about myself. You know what I mean? But that definitely helps me like when I'm in a rut too. But because when you're in a rut, especially your confidence is mad low. Oh my god! Like you just see. You see yourself as like just like
I feel like you see the worst parts of yourself, and you feel like that's the best parts of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you see the worst parts of yourself, and you see and you feel like that's the most you'll
as
ever
good as it
be.
gets. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You are defined by that.
Yeah,
for sure.
But hey, listen. I just want to say, I'm really happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Really
And like,
happy for myself.
I know I've texted that to you before, and hopefully it didn't come off sarcastic or like, you know, whatever. I truly am very happy for you, man. Truly. It's dope. It's dope because like you know, like you tell me how she responds to, you know, all that, and I'm like, damn, like I need to find me one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for real.
Like that's a really.
She's a real one.
Yeah, you're right. She's a real one. Very, very, very real one. So happy for you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I think everyone deserves like a ride or die. You know what I mean? And that might be a tall demand, but like you need to find someone that's like a ride or die. And sure, we're still like very early.
Yeah. But hey, you know, hey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's no set time period for you know whatever.
Because
so
I will say like a lot of the ways I feel about her and the conversations that we have and like our comfort.
Yeah.
We've achieved that like faster than I've achieved ever with other people that I've dated or you know what I mean? And so that in itself is pretty different. I will say like, especially when I put on my stories or like I like very hint at, even with my captions, I say something about my girl, I'll get like story replies. People will reply to my stories, and like sometimes like every other story is like, wait, hold on, wait, time out, wait, rewind. You have a girl? Wait, what? Like people, wait, hold on, time out. You're dating? Wait, you have a girlfriend? Wait, what's going on? Some people are like sad, some people are happy for me, some people are like, you know what I mean? I get a lot of different
I love it because like I know, you know
like, everything,
like where you guys are at right now, and it's just funny to see like you dropping like little hints, like, you know, like a little no look pass, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, no look pass, like I love that shit. I love it.
It's funny because like only us three really know, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I like drop hints and stuff, like she hears it, she's like, oh, okay, I caught that. And then you don't know how to react. You're like, do I react about on
no,
this?
even on like the fucking quarantine and chill shit. Like you be
fucking
Twitch, saying some shit, and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Like I don't know. Do I need to react to this? Like what do I say?
Do I act dumb or do I just like, do I go with it or what?
No, man.
God. But I do want to like keep her private for her own like.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, dude? Like you don't even need to fucking put that shit on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't. Like you and her both like fuck social media. You know what I'm saying? Like it that you don't need to. You don't. Go ahead. Yeah.
I get it. But she's also the type of girl that I just want to like blast. Like, I just want to show the world. You know that famous picture of Will Smith with Jada. Like he on the red carpet, he's like
yep.
Like
he does this,
pointing his arms.
Yeah.
Jada's just like posing there, like all elegant and like looking all like a boss. Like that's what I want to do. I just want to be like, dude, look at this, like look at her, like come on, like do you see like what I see? Do you like do you got I need to calm down. I need to relax. Let's cheers before we.
Let's cheers, my bro.
So to take it 180, have you ever been suicidal?
Wow, have I ever been suicidal?
Yeah, have you ever had like suicidal thoughts?
I've never thought about killing myself, but I have thought about, okay, let's say that I did
right
somehow die, or if I did kill myself, what kind of impact would that have on the people around me? You know what I'm saying? And you know, I feel like I've been in depressive states, but I don't want to call it depression because
no, see, that's I don't no I'm gonna stop you there.
Right.
That was a huge, like, anyone listening to this that feels like that, because I felt like that, and so many people do. And the reason why you probably feel like that is because you're comparing yourself to someone that's like suicidal or someone that's
Right.
like
Right, right,
crazy
right, right, right.
depressed.
Right.
And that's the danger of depression, and that's why we need to talk about depression more, because there is such a thing as mild depression, and mild depression is still depression.
Okay.
Mild
Okay.
depression is still depression. Like,
Yeah.
just because you're mildly depressed doesn't mean you have to like factor that out. Like, you have to just dismiss it. It's like, oh my god, I'm just being emotional, I'm just being dramatic.
Yeah.
No, like, you're depressed, you're depressed, and like, you're valid and you're justified. You know what I'm saying? So like, I need to stop you there, because I felt like that for years. I was like, no, I've never been depressed because I've never wanted to kill myself. That doesn't mean like, that doesn't mean you're not depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, mild depression is still super real, and it's probably the majority.
Right. Right.
I mean, because like, thankfully, probably majority of us aren't like suicidal, right?
Right.
Thankfully. But majority of us face mild depression, but we just don't know how to pinpoint it, or like.
Right. And also now that you're saying all that, I feel like people don't want to call it depression because they don't want to minimize people with like clinical depression. Right.
But it's not a comparison. It's not a competition.
Right. Okay. I hear you.
That's my reminder. It's not a competition.
I hear you.
You don't need to compare yourself to someone that's clinically depressed or is like extremely suicidal. That doesn't make any less of how you feel or how you are, and that's the trap. That's the trap.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
and
I
so,
hear you.
like, when you're feeling mildly depressed, when you're feeling like you just really need to acknowledge that, right? Because, like I said, I struggled with that because I'm like, dude, like, grow up, like you know what I mean? Oh my god, you're such a baby. Like,
Be a man. Be a man. Man up.
Like, I'm like, oh, and I'm like, you're so dramatic, June.
Yeah.
But that made it worse. Like, that made it worse. And when I first moved to LA, yeah, I can talk about it. When I first went to LA, the first like 6 months, I was pretty depressed. Like, it was bad. I was like, financially, I was really struggling. Love life, like, there was nothing. I wasn't really even looking. Career wise, I felt like nothing was going for me. I was like, why did I move? I felt like nothing's working out for me, and I was in a really dark place. But even then, I didn't want to acknowledge. I was like, oh no, I'm just being dramatic and stuff like that. But I had to really just tell myself, like, dude, it's okay to be like this, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you're validated. But,
Have you ever thought about killing yourself?
Not seriously, no. I can fortunately say that I've never been like that bad, but I've had there's been times where it's just like all my suicidal thoughts have been very selfish, in the sense of I would rather not put in the work to deal with this. It would be so much easier if I didn't have to deal with my emotions or like actually do something about it, if I could just take myself out. But then I think about all the people that it would affect negatively for that split second gratification of not having to deal with my state, but like the lifelong trauma that it could cause all the people around me. And I mean, I don't want to like put a stance on like suicide and stuff. Like, it's you know, it sucks, and it's like I can't imagine what people are going through, but like, it's like inherently, like, I feel like it could be so selfish for me to like commit suicide. I think always life is worth living. I think we should always choose life, and I don't say that lightly, because like, it can be so tough. But I think we should always choose life. You know what I mean? And just to talk about the other side too, for people that are feeling like suicidal, that are listening, it's like, we don't want to make you feel like you're being selfish or like silly. It's very real. Like, I'm sure you're going through a very dark time, but on the other side of encouragement, if you do have suicidal thoughts, is like you have, like, there needs to be a perspective where like you choose life. You know what I mean? You choose to live another day, like, no matter how bleak it is. I think life is worth living, and I just like want to encourage, and so many people around you do want to encourage you to like to stick it out. You know what I mean? Because if you commit suicide, then you don't win. You let the depression, like you let whatever that enemy win. It's like, you know what I mean? Like don't let the other side win. Like we want to see you be victorious. You know what I mean? And the fact like knowing that you're not alone is such a great reminder. Like try to find someone that you can talk to, and at times a lot of people feel like they have nobody, right? Because sometimes the people closest to them, their own families, is like they're the ones that are making them like this or feel like this. Right. And so, I mean, it's tough. It's tricky. I'm no doctor. I'm no like I don't have any certifications or anything like that. But I mean, like it's a really tricky avenue, and everyone gets down, everyone gets low. But I try to choose optimism, especially when I'm not on that side. When it's like people like you, like my friends, talk to me about this, I'm so good at being optimistic, like for that other person, to champion them, to cheer them on, because I'm such like I love it in a way. Like let me explain myself. I love it when I hit rock bottom or my friend hits rock bottom, because I'm like, dude, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom for you to realize that you hit rock bottom. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of humans learn. Like we only learn when we hit rock bottom. If we could learn the second that like we're starting to do something wrong or spiral, like if only it were that easy. But I'm the type of person, I have to hit rock bottom.
Yeah, me too.
But when I hit rock bottom, I realize, oh wait, my ass hurts from falling. Oh, I hit rock bottom. I get this realization. Oh wait, I hit rock bottom. And then all of a sudden I see like, oh, now I can bounce back. I feel like I can't go any further than this. I can't go any lower. So the only direction is going back up. Going through a rut is tough. It is. There's no right answer. There's no clear answer. Everyone's different. Everyone deals with it differently, and there's no like textbook foolproof way.
There isn't.
And I think if we just shift our mentality to that, it's like if we start to embrace the rut instead of trying to push it away so much, we become better at dealing with it and dismissing it faster. Right? Because the whole goal is when thoughts come, it's not so much like how do I ignore it or how do I like act like it's not there, but how do I dismiss it as quickly as possible in like a healthy way, right? So it's like not getting trapped in that. But
so just to kind of close out the podcast, like what do you think are some, good ways to get through a rut? What would you suggest for me personally? Go on a walk. Okay.
Dude, you go on a walk.
Go on a walk. You know what? But I actually do go on walks though, cause my dog. Right.
Mm-hmm. well then, try going on walks alone too, cause like.
Oh, walks alone. Okay.
Knowing you, you're probably you're probably like 30%. Like, well, you're always preoccupied about. Is my dog eating something? Where's my dog going? Like, like you're so preoccupied about your dog. You need some alone time. When I go on walks, I think so much. Like I filter so many thoughts in my head. Sometimes, sure, I like to listen to a podcast while walking, but sometimes music, sometimes podcast, whatever your thing is. But I also challenge and encourage you to just walk with nothing, with silence. People don't know how to deal with themselves. Sometimes when you're driving, just drive with nothing. People like
drive with nothing.
Constantly, people feel this need to constantly fill this silence, this void with music, with podcasts, with they need consumption. They need distraction. They don't know how to spend time with themselves, like in silence. They're so uncomfortable with it. Sometimes I love driving in silence, just with my own thoughts, and you kind of just zone out.
Yeah.
And walking, you zone out, and the thing is, it's mindless exercise, so it's a 2-in-1. You're getting the exercise in. And one thing I love doing like walks and treadmills, dude, call a friend. Like especially if you're trying to like exercise and walk, hop on a treadmill or go for a walk and call a friend and get into like a 30-40 minute conversation, and you can walk miles without even realizing. Sometimes when you're staring at a treadmill walking, oh no, sorry, I knocked the camera. When you're on a treadmill and you're walking like half a mile, it feels like eternity, right?
Yeah.
But one of my best
goddamn treadmill, dude. Fuck that shit.
One of my best fitness tips is go on a walk and call a friend that you can talk to for a while, like catch up with an old friend. And it's so therapeutic in so many ways. And I love like phone calls. I love like talking with the people that I love and care. Yeah, I mean, like, call family members, call close friends, call old friends, whatever. But yeah, I really advocate like going on walks. I really do. And stay busy. Like set schedules. A lot of times when we get low because we have too much free time. Humans, I don't think we're wired to just do nothing. We have to always be doing something, right? And so like set a schedule for yourself. Try to like, especially during quarantine when we're just home doing nothing, exercise or read, like whatever activity you want to pick up, like try to set some loose schedules. And yeah, like try to stay occupied. Not saying like run away from your problems, but I found that I get low sometimes when I'm doing nothing, because then I'm like, oh wait, I'm doing nothing with my life, and so it gets worse.
Yeah, so like I feel like you kind of need to like build like momentum type of shit. Is what you're saying. Build
momentum, like, and just like build a healthy habit and structure, like some sort of structured schedule, because like it's part of adulting. One of my therapeutic things is I like to clean. Cleaning is such a when your life feels out of control, you always have to do something that makes you feel in control. And for me, start by cleaning your room. When your room's messy, that unsightly sight of a messy room, it makes you feel worse, right? So when you like clean your room, like make your bed, pick up your clothes, vacuum, whatever, clean your bathroom, then you're like, it's so refreshing. You know what I mean? After you finish doing a deep clean, you feel so refreshed. That's like step one. Something I always do when I feel depressed and down. I clean, because it feels like I did something.
I like that.
So I think you should, like, that's just me though. Like I like to clean.
Yeah.
But some people like to read, like journal. Journaling's not for everyone. I mean, some people like to journal, some people don't. But yeah, try out different things. But it's like, and you have to tell yourself like this isn't the end all be all. Yeah. And please talk to someone.
Please talk to someone. Yes.
No, for real. Like, seriously. Please talk to someone.
Yeah.
And please, if you find someone that you trust, don't let that person go, and give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not annoyed.
Yeah, but I am definitely feeling this fucking Chardonnay, bro. God damn. I am fucking feeling this shit right now.
I didn't drink. I had such a big meal, so I'm like pretty full, but I feel it, but I'm not like, whoa.
I'm like one pour away from finishing this whole fucking bottle. Like, that's...
But to the people that tuned in thus far, we appreciate you. All right, guys, till next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Unwind. Yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See ya.
See ya. Bye.